We all carry ghosts, not the kind that haunt old houses, but the ghosts of words unsaid and moments missed. These are the regrets we collect, the small things we let slip away while chasing bigger dreams. We tell ourselves there will be time, but time is a silent thief. We build lives that look perfect from the outside, big houses, fancy cars, important jobs, but in the quiet we feel the weight of what we've lost. The warmth of connection, the laughter we no longer share. Regret is a heavy coat woven from missed birthdays, broken promises, and the love we failed to give. This is the story of a man who wore that coat for years, believing success was everything. He had it all, except the things that truly matter. In the end, he was left with echoes, reminders of the life he traded away. The most important things aren't things at all. They're the hands we hold, the stories we share, the love we give and receive. When we lose those, we lose ourselves. This is a story about finding what was lost, about taking off that heavy coat, one painful button at a time, and learning to feel the sun again. David's story is familiar, ambitious, driven, always reaching for the next rung. He worked late, traveled often, and told himself he was building a better life for his family. But every promotion, every new car, was a substitute for his presence. He missed Leo's milestones, the first play, the winning goal, the lost tooth. Each absence was a crack in their relationship, but David was too busy to notice. Sarah tried to bridge the gap, but phone calls with Leo were short and awkward. David became a stranger in his own home, a provider, not a father. The price of his climb was higher than he realized. He gained the world, but lost his son. The silence between them grew, filled with everything left unsaid. David measured his worth in paychecks, not in moments. He built a house, not a home. The ladder he climbed led him further from the people who mattered most. By the time he looked down, the distance was vast. The cost of success was loneliness. And the world he built felt empty. He was left wondering if it was all worth it. As Leo grew, the cracks became a chasm. Father and son lived under one roof, but in different worlds. David with his work, Leo with his headphones and friends. Their conversations were brief, strained, and heavy with unspoken disappointment. David didn't know his son anymore. His favorite band, his dreams, his fears. The silence between them was a wall built from years of neglect. David saw other fathers and sons laughing together and felt a sharp pang of envy. He realized he was a stranger to his own child. The success he chased felt hollow. Sarah eventually left, and the house grew even quieter. The divorce was confirmation of David's failure, as a husband, as a father. He'd reached the top, only to find himself utterly alone. The view from the top was cold and empty. There was no one left to share it with. One rainy afternoon, David wandered into the attic, seeking escape from the silence. Amidst the clutter, he found a small wooden chest and inside a faded photograph. It showed him and a young Leo at the beach, laughing, carefree, truly happy. No phones, no work, just a father and son sharing joy. David stared at the photo, remembering the warmth of Leo's arms and the sound of his laughter. He realized how far he'd drifted from that man in the picture. The career, the money, it all seemed meaningless now. He'd traded golden moments for fool's gold. Tears of regret fell, not for who he was, but for who he'd lost. The photograph was a mirror, showing not just what he'd lost, but what he could have had. It whispered a painful truth. He'd been so busy building a life, he'd forgotten to live it. In that attic, David finally understood. The past was gone, but maybe, just maybe, it wasn't too late to change. He resolved to try. The journey back is harder than the journey away. The photograph haunted David, pushing him to try, despite his fear of rejection. One evening, he found Leo in the living room, lost in a video game. David hesitated, then spoke. "Leo." At first, Leo didn't hear him. David tried again, louder. Leo finally looked up, annoyed. "What?" David's courage almost failed, but he remembered the photograph. "I was wondering if you wanted to get some pizza or something." The question hung in the air, awkward and fragile. Leo eyed him with suspicion. Why? David had no speech, only the truth. Because, he whispered, I miss you. The silence was heavy, but something shifted. It was a small step, but it was a beginning. Sometimes all it takes is a single, trembling word. The first pizza night was awkward, quiet, filled with one-word answers and long silences. David feared it was too late, but he didn't give up. He suggested another pizza night, and to his surprise, Leo agreed. Slowly, the ice began to thaw. Short answers turned into hesitant conversations. David stopped acting like a manager and started sharing his own stories, mistakes, funny moments, vulnerabilities. He offered connection, not just questions. One evening, Leo opened up about school, friends, and even a girl he liked. David listened, really listened, for the first time in years. He discovered his son was smart, funny, and a little cynical. These small moments were rays of sunlight breaking through the clouds. Forgiveness wasn't a single event, but a process built on honesty and patience. There were still hard days and awkward silences, but they learned to live with the scars. Together, they began to build something new from the ruins. Each conversation, each shared pizza was a step toward healing. They were mending the broken pieces, one moment at a time. The past couldn't be erased, but the future was theirs to shape. They found hope in the effort and warmth in each other's company. The journey was slow, but it was real. They were finding their way back. The past can teach us, but we can't live there. David learned that forgiveness doesn't erase what happened, but it frees us to build something new. The lost years with Leo were gone, but they didn't have to define the future. Their relationship was imperfect, messy, and marked by scars. But it was real. They found a new normal, filled with shared interests and honest conversation. The silence was replaced by laughter and the sounds of a family learning to reconnect. David realized success wasn't a corner office, but a shared laugh over burnt pizza. We all make mistakes. We get lost, chase the wrong things, and hurt those we love. But it's never too late to try again. The human heart can heal, given time and patience. So ask yourself, is there a ghost you're carrying, a conversation you need to have? It's never too late to make it right. Pick up the phone, write the letter, take the first trembling step. It will be hard and awkward, but it may be the most important thing you ever do. Don't wait for a faded photograph to remind you what matters. Begin again. Begin now. The warmth of the sun is waiting.